Game week 1 starts tomorrow and it's time for my final draft. I have used all of my budget. I'm not starting with any money in the bank, but I have all the price points covered, so I will be fine. In goal, as usual, we will be starting in it. It's Pickford. I am opting for a 4.5 defender because I just cannot find any more money to fund my goalkeeper needs. I wanted to own Ramsdale, but with David Raya joining Arsenal, it's more likely that it's going to be some kind of rotation. Onana is another pick that I like at the 5.0 price, but I do not consider Manchester United such a solid defense right now, especially away from home against the big opposition. So wasting 5.0 in the first 8 to 10 game weeks seems like no big reason to do that. And maybe on my wild card I will go for Nana, but for now I'm opting for 4.5. I was between Flecken and Pickford and Johnston. Flecken is a new goalkeeper, so he is not accustomed to the Premier League needs, so I scratched that off, and it was between Pickford and Johnston. For me, Johnston is a very good goalkeeper. Now, Gaeta that is confirming he is leaving and wants to leave, leaves Johnston as the only solid option. But in my opinion, Pickford, being a Sean Dyche keeper, is a far better choice. So in the final decision, I opted to go for Pickford. I know it's a boring pick and I'm basically reverting to my first draft in the goalkeepers department, but at 4.5, I cannot do any better, I think. Pickford, a very solid goalkeeper. Sean Dyche teams get to keep a lot of clean sheets and they face a little shots, so they won't be under such big threat, and they are just overpopulating the midfield, so it's difficult to penetrate them. So Pickford gets the notch in goal, and a 4.0 keeper is going to be my second choice. I'm torn between Turner or just a non-playing goalkeeper that's not going to lose me any value, but most probably I will go with Turner. But for now, this is only a price share point, and I believe that it's not very important who I'm going for there, but my starting goalkeeper for all of the game weeks is going to be Pickford. In defense, I'm going with 3 pretty solid defenders and 2 4.0 defenders. Let's talk about the solid ones. First, this is Stupian. His price is 5.0. I know Brighton fixtures from the start are perfectly good, but after a little bit of time they become shaky. But I do not seem to care about that, because last season against Arsenal, for example, Estupiñán scored a goal, so he is capable of scoring against big oppositions and providing good returns. Brighton are a team that knows how to play against big oppositions, so not having to rotate him and just believe in him for 8 to 10 game weeks is the way to go. The only reason that I'm going to take him out is if someone else emerges as a good option and I do not have any transfer to do, or if he gets injured. Even though he is going to be a risky pick at some fixtures, I believe he is going to be better than my 4.0 defenders. So I'm believing in him. Next up is Chilwell, 5.5. I'm torn between him and James, but for the whole of the preseason I saw that Chilwell was far the better and played on that left side like a left winger basically, and got into so many good scoring opportunities. He provided an assist from corner. Reece James may have penalties under his belt, but before someone confirms that and he takes a penalty and we see how he does that, I do not believe that Reece James is going to be on their penalties. Enzo Fernandez is such a good option as well. Jackson is a solid option, but we have to see. For now, I'm staying with Chilwell, even though his first match against Liverpool is not a good fixture. First of all, it's at home. Second of all, that right side of Liverpool defense is looking shaky, so Chilwell can exploit that being on the left flank. And I believe Chilwell can make a return even in that game. And after that, it's a green fixture after green fixture. And I believe having at least one Chelsea asset will be very, very important. So I'm starting with Chilwell from the start. I do not want to make any transfers for game week 2 right now. So Chilwell is starting, and I believe that he can hurt Liverpool. Maybe he will lose the clean sheet. I believe for sure he will lose the clean sheet, but I'm here for an attacking return. Even 1 or 2 points is enough for game week 1. After that, a green mile from him. Last but not least is Saliba. Here I can opt for a 4.5 defender and maybe update elsewhere, but I needed a solid player. I do not like right now the 4.5 position players. Maybe there are some strong center backs and some fullbacks such as Cash and Henry. Ivan Patterson, but I believe Arsenal fixtures are too good to ignore, and having a defender from their side is going to be crucial because a lot of players are owning one of their defenders, being White, Gabriel, or Saliba. So going without any of them is going to be risky. I do not want to lose any points, and the only games that they were having the fixtures are City in game week 8, I believe Manchester United at game week 4, and Spurs at game week 6, something like that. Other than that, it's green fixture after green fixture, and even at home they can keep a good number of clean sheets against the stronger opposition. So having a Arsenal defender that's going to play the first 8 to 10 game weeks is pretty good option in my opinion. You should consider it as well. I'm missing here a Manchester United and a City defender, but they are too pricey for me, the guys that I want. I want Shaw, Onana, or John Stones, and they're both 5.5. The defenders and 5.0 the goalkeeper, which I already spoke about. So for me, Arsenal defender for the start, and after the good defenders emerge, I will just swap them and continue with them on my wildcard. But for now, I believe that Arsenal, Brighton, and Chelsea defenders are going to be pretty important, and the two wing backs are attacking. I know Saliba does not have the same attacking threat as Gabriel, but I believe he's a bonus point machine, and if Gabriel does not score a goal, Saliba, in my opinion, will get the bonus points ahead of him. So I'm just betting on that Gabriel is not going to score a lot of goals in the first couple of game weeks up until game week 8. So I will get the more points from Saliba. My 4.0 defenders for now are Kabore and Baldock. I did not opt for Bear from Burnley because I want a playing defender in game week 2. And if I opt for a Wooten and a Burnley defender, they are not playing in game week 2, so I won't have the options. But I'm going to be perfectly fine. I believe I just want to have the safety of an option that is going to play at game week 2. So Baldock fits that position, and Kabore is an attacking wingback, so he will be getting in front of him if something happens. But for now, Baldock and Kabore are there, but they're basically price points holders. So yeah, I have a very cheap bench, 3 4.0 players and one more 4.5, so I'm spending as much as possible on my starting 11, which is always a good option because you need the points and you do not get any points from your bench. Even though a good bench is a solid option, I believe that going for your starting lineup is even more crucial. I'm going for a very strong midfield. I'm opting for Salah. First of all, as you can see, I believe owning Salah or Kane is very integral for your draft because they're very good players and they're premiums for a reason. They're returning every season since they're in the Prem, and not owning one of them may hurt you a lot. Not owning Salah for game week 2 or another Liverpool asset for me is going to be a big mistake because yeah, even though Rashford will most probably bank points against Wolves and most probably Spurs, I believe there is a double-digit hole around the Bournemouth game, and Rashford may even blank because Manchester United sometimes tend to score one goal and just relax, while Liverpool are just going again and again and again. For me, Rashford is a good option, but Salah or / any Liverpool other player is also good, and owning Salah gives me an option to go for Kane in game week 3 a lot easier because I want a Spurs asset. I know Maddison is a good option as well, but I most probably will want 2 Spurs attacking assets for their 3 easy fixtures because they are creating chances for fun, and not owning a price point for Kane that is going to be Salah most probably for the start is pretty hard to fit in Kane after that. Next up is Saka. He is one of the 2 players that has never left my draft. The other is Haaland, obviously. Saka, I believe a lot in him. He is going to be playing on that right side. Nottingham lost their left wing back from last season, Lodi, so they will be having a new player there, and Saka can exploit that. He's on penalties, he's nailed for the whole duration of the game, so now the games are way over 100 minutes at some times. Even when some teams are time wasting, I believe Nottingham will be such team. Saka is going to have even more minutes to score goals, and I believe not owning Saka is a pretty big risk that is not worth from the start. Maybe some of you consider captaining him, which is also a good option. But for me, the captain is going to be another player. We're going to discuss that in a minute. But for me, Saka is integral to your draft. In every draft, no matter what the draft, I got him. And I do not intend to leave him out of my Game Week 1 draft at the end. Next up is Martinelli. I like Arsenal's fixtures a lot, and at 8.0, I believe he is the best option right now to fit in my draft because I already have a Liverpool player, so going for Jota is going to be not needed. I prefer attacking Arsenal players to have. Trossard crossed my mind, but Martinelli just fits the price point better. I believe that he'll be playing around 70 minutes, and if he's going to play on that left wing position, he's going to get in so many good chances, and he's going to create so many opportunities for his team. He's even more attacking than Saka, but he's not so nailed minute-wise. I here considered Odegaard for sure, but I do not have the money, and I believe Martinelli can fill in his shoes accordingly in my team. And after game week 2, I can easily swap him for, let's say, Maddison or Foden or whoever is emerging, so I can easily afford to downgrade him, and that's a good option. That's the price point I was talking about, that Martinelli is that player that I'm going to rotate. If Saka is worse and he's not getting into good positions and I'm worried about him, maybe Saka will go and I will have Martinelli. We have to see, but for now Martinelli is my expendable guy that I can just easily rotate and attack the fixtures. Next up is Bruno Fernandes. As I already mentioned, Manchester United have a pretty good fixture run at the start, and not owning Rashford will be risky, but not owning anyone from Manchester United is even riskier, so I'm opting for Bruno. He's now their captain, he's their penalty takers, he's nailed as the same minutes as Saka and Salah, so that means more chances of goals and more opportunities to concede a penalty, because the defensive sides are going to make mistakes at the 100th minute for sure, and the penalty is here to emerge, so penalty takers this season will be very, very important in my opinion. And having players from attacking teams such as United, Liverpool and Arsenal and penalty takers is going to be pretty important. So Fernandes fits the my stereotype perfectly. He's an attacking player, he's ever nailed, he's a captain, he's a penalty taker, he's playing on a good side, 8.5 good price point. If something happens and he's not the thing that I believe him to be, I can easily downgrade him to whoever I want, basically apart from KDB, Rashford and Son. Every other player is at that price point, so 8.5, a pretty good point to hold. And if I downgrade Martinelli, I can even go to Son and Rashford if the price remain the same. And my final guy here is Mbeumo. He's 6.5. He's a placeholder as well. We do not have any confirmation that he's going to be fit because he got an injury at their last preseason game, but I believe that he is going to be fine. And if he is, he's going to be a very good option because Brentford are having a spectacular run of fixtures after the Spurs game especially. And Spurs are conceding goals left, right and center, so even that is not a difficult fixture from an attacking perspective. So 6.5 for a penalty taker for a Brentford side seems a pretty good option. Mitoma was ever present in my drafts, but I have another Brighton player that I'm going to showcase you in a minute. So for now, I'm opting to not have a third Brighton player, but I can easily change my mind. Harvey Barnes, Eze, and Diaby are the other players that are interesting for that price point. Yesterday in my video, I mentioned that there are a lot of guys for 5.5 and below that are going to be on my watch, so I can easily downgrade him to that price point. So I believe a 6.5 to 7 million is very good to own because you can easily go sideways for that. You can even go for Mudryk if he starts developing a lot of points, or for any other Chelsea midfielder that turns to be better than the rest. So yeah, I've got a pretty good price points here covered. Salah is covering the Kane price points. Saka is nailed. Martinelli I can downgrade to anyone. Fernandes as well, a pretty expendable option, but I believe that he's going to be pretty good. And Mbeumo, if he is fit, he's going to start the season pretty good. And after game week 2, I'll make decisions to who should I swap if someone emerges as a good FPL option. But now let's go and finish the team with that forward line. Before talking about them, if you enjoy my draft and my content throughout preseason, please subscribe to my channel. If you want to see more during the preseason, I'm going to be uploading videos every week, so stay tuned and remember to watch my deadline stream and my watch along tomorrow when the season starts. I'll be prepared and I hope to see you there. Now let's discuss the forward line. First of all, Haaland. Haaland was the second player that was ever present in my draft. I never had the idea to make a draft without Haaland. They have a first of all pretty good fixture run, second of all this Haaland, and he broke all the records in his first season, and third of all he's going to be my captain option no matter what. I'm not going to differentiate in captains, at least for the start of the season, because I do not want to fall back. If I fall back early on, it's very hard to catch up with the rest because I'll be playing the catch-up game, and it's pretty much easier to go to be up front and start creating better decisions and be up ahead and making the trends while following some trends, and I do not want to do that. Yeah, the price is high, but for my captain I'm willing to spend 14 millions. The next guy is Pedro, Joao Pedro from Brighton. I believe there is no such thing as a nailed Brighton attacker, but as their most probable penalty taker and as a new signing and the link up between him and Welbeck and Mitoma, it looks pretty good in their final preseason game, which I watched, and I pretty much solidified my pick as Pedro. This guy leads me to pick Salah without a problem, because if I own a 6.5 striker slash midfielder, it's pretty much a waste of some other space. I have to drop someone, maybe a Saliba or Martinelli or Mbumo or something like that. And with Pedro, it's pretty much easier. I can easily swap Martinelli and Pedro for, let's say, Jackson and a 6.5, another midfielder being Eze. So this is going to be good. I can swap him for Madison even. I can do a lot of things. I can up him to Wissa, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, go sideways to maybe let's say Raul Jimenez. I have a lot of options, and my 4.5 attacker is going to be such a placeholder. I'm going to replace Salah with a 4.5 and then bring Kane in his place if I want to do that. So I have a lot of options here to improve my attacking lineup. The only player that's difficult to get for me is Watkins, but he's only one guy, and I believe even if I want to, I can downgrade, let's say, Martinelli to 4.5, 5.0 or 5.5 and get Watkins instead of Pedro. I can do a lot of things. I can easily replace Martinelli with that forward and go for something else. I have options, so basically every guy is reachable for me right now, which is good because I have the rotation here. Maybe Trent is a little bit more difficult, but I do not plan to own Trent at least until they sign a pretty solid holding GM. So for now, I do not have any worries. If you believe my draft is good enough, give a like, subscribe to my channel, write down a comment with your draft. I'll be happy to see you on my deadline stream and talk about your drafts and pick the best possible drafts and decisions for you. But for now, guys, I'm going to head out and prepare for the deadline stream, and I'm going to see you tomorrow. Bye!